The first boredom breaker that I want to show you guys is actually one of my favorites thus far, and it's going to be a hay dispenser. Now, unlike hamsters, gerbils actually do care for hay. In fact, in the wild, they eat a ton of grass, seeds, and grass material, so having hay in a dispenser makes it so they have to work to get the hay out of it. And you can find dispensers like these that are supposedly made for guinea pigs or rabbits, but if you ask me, they're just way too small. No, they are. They're just way too small for those animals, but they make great dispensers for gerbils. They're the perfect size, and I like to hang it up so that they have to reach and get the hay pieces, and it's really funny to see them work hard to get them out, and it's just one of my favorite boredom breakers of all. And depending on how much you refill this, they will start to only go to it when they want to, so it can be a long-lasting boredom breaker. You can also do this with willow balls and also other wooden chews, but I like to do it with the metal kind of dispenser because then it just lasts forever. Unlike the wood, they would chew it right up. So, but yeah, it's amazing. You can do this weekly. I honestly refill it once a week, and it's just a great boredom breaker. Sometimes they empty it in one day, but sometimes they empty it over a course of a few days. So you can also mix other things within the hay so that it's even more interesting for them if they don't care for it at first, or just because. And you can put other kind of treats in there, flowers, anything that's dry basically will be fun surprise for them. So you can definitely get creative with this boredom breaker. Now, this one might be a bit of a surprise, but actually talking and just hearing human voices in general can be a very entertaining and boredom breaker in itself for gerbils. Because gerbils are social animals, they love hearing anything in their safe environment is welcoming to them, and so if they trust you and know the voices around them, they will often enjoy it. And so even though gerbils are awake mostly during the day, if it's the weekends and we are playing games late at night, they love to also stay awake because they hear our voices, and they just find comfort in it. And so it can be a boredom breaker in itself. And when people ask me all the time on how they can tame their gerbils, I always say that this is the most important way that you can get your gerbil to be tame with you and to trust you, is to just talk to them and to talk about any little thing, especially for them. So right before you feed them and just everything, so they see your voice as a very rewarding thing, and it will be just comforting in general for them. Now, I did include this in my other boredom breaker video, but I am going to include it again because it's just one of the best boredom breakers that you can give gerbils and rodents in general. So basically, you're just filling a cardboard tube. You can use it from a toilet paper tube or a paper towel, any kind of cardboard, and you're just going to fill it in with treats and also fillers, so hay and maybe the broken shells of the peanuts if you're using any kind of nuts for the reward. And so then you're just gonna put it all together, tie it up, and they have to work to get the treat out. It's a very entertaining thing, not only for them but for you. And in the end of this video, I'm going to include a montage so you can, without interruption, watch this process, because honestly it's so amusing and they're so clever, and it's just a great boredom breaker. Now, for this, I did fill this up with a bit of some fatty treats, so mealworms and a bit of dehydrated rose hips, as well as pecans. I never knew how to say that. And What else did I put in there? And they also added some dried dandelion leaves and roots. So I think, well, I think I showed most of what I put in there, but you'll see. So this would be a treat that I'd say you'd have to give once a month, just because there's just so many different seeds or nuts and sugary treats that are high in fat. So you don't want to give this to your gerbils all the time, because even though they have to work to get it out, they still do it fast, and it's probably gonna take them less than an hour, if even. Smearing peanut butter or plain yogurt on their cage or glass or any kind of disposable wooden slate so that they have to lick it off is also something that they would be interested in and entertained by. Now, I did not have peanut butter on hand to do this, and they were not a fan of the plain yogurt, so you're just going to see them suspiciously wonder what the heck is on their glass. But I'm sure with peanut butter you would have a much more desirable outcome. My gerbils were just super confused, and they just didn't understand what it was supposed to do for them, and they were looking at me like I was crazy. But it was entertaining nonetheless for them, because they kept going up to it and trying to see if they should eat it or what they should do. I'm sure if it smelled like peanut butter, they would have already, but this was just not doing it for them. It's not gonna make them risk their lives. So, but peanut butter would definitely be a better outcome, and you will see that they will probably lick it off the glass really quick. And also, I would probably do this maybe once a month as well, just because peanut butter is also high in fat and has a bit of sugar in it. So loofah is another great boredom breaker. It kind of acts like wooden chew toys, except it's made of loofah, which is actually a plant, and it's very sponge-like. My gerbils love ripping it up and just throwing the pieces on the ground, especially Almond, I'm guessing more because she wants to use it as nesting material. But nonetheless, it keeps them occupied, and it mainly kept my Almond occupied more than Lemon and Beanie, but maybe all of your gerbils will be entertained by it. But it just acts as another wooden chew, or just a chew toy in general. You can find these in Petco or PetSmart, or just any kind of pet supply store that sells them for hamsters or other rodents, and they just are convenient, and they're super cheap as well. And of course, anything made out of wood or paper or carton is going to be the absolute best boredom breaker for your gerbils, because it is the cheapest, it is the easiest to get your hands on. You can get a lot of it, and they can have a lot of it, and they can have it in different presentations. So you could rip some tissue paper or some toilet paper tubes. You can also add wooden chews from Petco or PetSmart or other pet supply stores that sell them for rodents, and they just are going to be so entertained like they've never seen anything like it before. And especially if you offer these things not all at once, but just every now and then, so that they don't have everything in their enclosure and get super bored super quickly because they just have it all at once. You definitely want to spread it out so that you can entertain them more. So you can have the chew toy work for a bit longer than you would get when you put all of them together, especially because gerbils, if you move any kind of thing around, they will feel like they're in a new place. Now, I didn't have any on me, but I also wanted to address that some of you have been asking if Whimsy chews are also safe for gerbils and can be used as boredom breakers, and the answer is absolutely. They're safe for hamsters, and they're definitely safe for gerbils, so you can also offer them a Whimsy Chew, maybe like once every 2 weeks. And I would probably give them each one so that they don't fight over them. And lastly, forage material is going to be one of the most useful boredom breakers because once they're done chewing, ripping it apart, they can use it for whatever they want basically. So any moss, well, safe moss, and dried flowers and dried greens in general are going to help be forage material, as well as dried leaves. And I will be making a video on safe forage material, so do be sure to look out for that. But that is it for this video. I know it was kind of short on tips for boredom breakers, but if you haven't checked out my other one, do be sure to do so. It has a bit more boredom breaker ideas that you can use. Of course, I'm now going to include the montage of the gerbils opening their gift box, and I'll see you guys next time. I haven't uploaded in a couple of weeks, and I feel like I can't talk anymore, and it's probably obvious. But I hope you guys like this video and like watching, and thank you for your support. Bye.